What's up, guys? We got a 2014 Hyundai SantaFe. This is a 3.6 liter, I believe. Let's just figure this one out. Let's see the engine size on this baby. We don't have the engine size here, but this has to be 3-point-some liter engine. But anyways, we'll figure that one out. I'll post on the link. But we got battery light right there. The customer said it was flashing, and then after a while it became a solid. So what I want you guys to do is, before we replace the alternator, we do need to check the voltage on this guy. So let's see how I can manage that with one hand in my camera in my hand. So let's see what kind of voltage we get here. If I'm able to put this guy here. So there it is. It's 11.54, but try to check on different spots. Okay, sometimes it could be a corrosion around the terminal, so try to go beyond the terminals. Even if you can, this alternator is a little difficult, but if you could go all the way down there, check directly. I have video how to check alternator output, but we don't have enough voltage. It should be 13 above with the car running. And what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna show you a complete job on this vehicle, make sure, and we're gonna go take a little bit step and check the fuse next. I was not able to get into the car to show you guys that my camera was out of the charge. So I did check the fuses. So what you want to do is, here's your alternator right here. You see alternator. So this is the 1, 2, 3, 4 wires on your alternator connector, and here's the big cable. Okay, the 12mm bolt. This big cable is direct power to the battery, but it does have a fuse here, so you might want to take a look at that. And then you have other fuses like TCU fuse, 15 amp. Then you got ECU fuse, which is a 10 amp. So you need to check these fuses. And on this side, you see the light in the dash that you get. It has it's controlled by a diode. This a diode is like a check valve, but it does have its own fuse. It's called a cluster fuse. So if this fuse blows, your light's gonna be immediately come on, and that doesn't mean your alternator is bad. But if one of these fuses are bad, your alternator is not gonna charge and provide power to charge the battery, which this is gonna illuminate automatically. So you make sure you check these fuses. I was you, I check every single fuse regardless. Sometimes somebody pulls a fuse because they took this fuse out and they use it to put some accessory lights over here somewhere, out here somewhere, and they never knew how important this fuse was. Or you probably was doing I had a Sienna that somebody was doing lighting in the back for some type of camera or backup light or something they was doing. They short circuited, and bam, alternator light pops up. Anyways, thank you for watching. Anyways, yeah, that's what it is. So to start off this job, what you want to do is you want to take off this passenger side wheel, front wheel, and we're gonna remove this cover. It has 10mm there, 10mm there, and then it got 10mm here. And let's see if there's this one over here, all the way over here. So we're gonna take those out. So I'm gonna got me a 10mm here, and I don't know how good this is gonna be. There's no freaking angle on this thing. There it is. Everything is gonna be power tool mostly, and we have one here. Not in a good condition. Let's see this one right here. Pretty easy, that one. And then we got one going across here. I might have to take out my extension for that one. Too long of an extension. What the hell I was thinking? Oh God. So this last one is hidden here. And this cover should come out once you take off these bolts. This guy comes off. We're going to be draining the antifreeze as well. So while we're down here, what we're going to do here is make sure you draw a routing of this belt. If you need to, you should. But you see this right here? This is a 19mm. We're going to yank on this, and this tensioner should move back, and we should be able to take off the belt. So got me a 19mm with this 3/8 driver ratchet here, and You're just gonna have to yank this counterclockwise. Your belt should come loose. Make sure you draw a routing if you need to, and that's how simple it's gonna be. Next, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna completely take off this belt off the alternator. If you want to take it off completely, it's all up to you, or you can just let it hang there. I like to just put it to the side. Next step up, we're gonna move the camera a bit down, and we're gonna bring the light like right here. So you see that bolt right there? That bolt is for the alternator, and that looks like a 14 millimeter, and we're gonna remove it right here and right now. So we're gonna use the same ratchet. It does have a swivel to it. This 14 has to come out. Should be very easy, okay? Once it's loose, you should be able to simply. I want to put power tool here, but I want to show you guys step by step, okay? So you guys get the whole process. So I'm just gonna turn it with the socket here. And if you can't turn it by hand in the socket, try to put your tool on it and get it as much. Just don't kill yourself. So as you can see, that bolt is coming off, and I am gonna give you the torque specs for this baby at the end of the video. So there you go. Keep it down here. We're gonna keep everything in order. And now what we're gonna do is drain the antifreeze. Okay, next up, we're gonna remove 1 clip, 2 clip, 3 clip, and then you see this cover here in the front. We're gonna take off this clip, take off this clip, this clip, this clip, this clip, and that clip, 10 millimeter and a 10 millimeter. So we should have clearance over here. We're gonna just do that. So to take off these, all you need is a Phillips head screwdriver, and you turn them. Sometimes you have to hold the bottom end, and they still won't come out, and then you have to put a fork in there and lift it up at the same time, or a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. So they didn't want to come out, so use a flathead screwdriver. Just put underneath this and turn. Once some of it come out, you can just yank it out. This thing just comes right off. You're gonna do the same thing for this one. Sometimes I break them because you have no option, because no matter what you do, they simply just won't come out. And always first try with your finger, and if they do come out, you're gonna yank it up. Okay, 3 clips are out. This guy's out. We're gonna disconnect the battery. It's a 10 millimeter. We're gonna get to that, but let's remove rest of the clips here. And if they come out, very good. They are lifting. Oh yeah, baby. Yup, they're lifting. Let me move on to this side. There you go. This one might give me a trouble here. I still need to drain the antifreeze. I have not done that. So I got all the clips ready to come out. Let's use our fork. Pop them up. A lot of people will send me a message that I make things look too easy, and it's just that experience, you know. Really, if you can take your time, you should be able to do this without any problem. So 10 millimeter each side. Okay, this one look, it was already loose. So we got one on this side, one on that side, and these babies come out, and we should be able to take off this cover. And it might be a little bit of a force. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, and a little retainer on each side. Okay, so you're gonna have to go forward. Let me get this side out. Okay, we're gonna hold the bumper forward and lift it out of there. Should be very simple to take this guy off. So you do have, whoa, light. You have this little guy that's stuck in the corners here. Each side has that. So you have to lift it and then go forward. I mean, back to the engine bay area, and then try to get it out of this hood latch here. Anyways, most importantly, we do need to disconnect the battery. So take off the negative, and if you want to take off negative and positive, good. But now your vehicle is completely dead. You don't need to worry about anything else. So we got another cover here. We're gonna take that cover off. There's a reason why we're taking all this off. Okay, there's a clip here, and there's a clip here, and there's a clip on the opposite side. I'm gonna show you the reason why we're doing this. Okay, where did I put my fork? Where did we put the fork? Oh no, did we lose it? Oh no, it's here. Okay, there's a clip on this cover on each side. So we need to take this guy off. There's a clip here. And these clips, just keep them together with this cover here. And there's one on this side. There you go, this cover comes off. Okay, now I'm gonna take the camera over and I'm gonna show you guys something. Okay, there's a couple of screws here. See this? 8mm, 8mm, 8mm. They go onto the fan strut, okay? So the fan is not gonna move. We do need to move the fan out of the way a bit, okay? And then we're gonna disconnect this connector here. It's a big connector here. Just wiggle it back and forth. Squeeze it. You have to squeeze it and wiggle it. Okay, and this should come out. We got a 10mm here. We're gonna take off this pipe. We're gonna take off this clamp. Just be careful you don't damage anything. And there should be a 10mm down here somewhere. Where is it? Okay. Okay. I'm not finding it. I have to figure that one out. Okay, we're gonna get to that. Anyways, we're gonna take this fan and we're gonna push it to one side. That way we have more clearance over here. But let's look for a drain plug. Where's the drain plug on this baby? Is there a drain plug on this baby? Okay, so I need to drain the radiator. Okay, the drain plug is all the way down here in the bottom, and I don't know how I'm gonna get my hands on that. But let's see. Make sure your car is nice and cold when you do this. Okay, I'm gonna open that drain plug. I might have to take off the cover in the bottom. Okay, so guys, there's the drain plug. You're gonna drain the antifreeze from right there. Okay guys, I got the antifreeze coming out. There's your drain plug. It is gonna be tough to get this thing out. And put some WD-40 if it comes out like a thread or so. And then give it a time, okay? And then it should start to come down. What we're gonna do is, we're gonna go back up and let this thing drain out. So you don't have to let the whole thing drain out. Just give it like probably a half a gallon or a little bit more than a gallon or a gallon. If you want to empty out the whole thing, and you could do a flush, but this customer did not want that. So he don't want to spend another 40, 50 bucks just on the fluid, whatever it costs me. It's like a $20 a gallon, $22 a gallon. Anyways, we're gonna let this drain out. So I took off this cover with the 12mm and a couple of bolts, and this thing was out. And I did take off this harness here a bit. You just set a retainer there. Okay, while this thing is draining, what we're gonna do is let's get our light together a bit. And I want it's a 7mm, not an 8mm. I thought it was 8mm, but these are 7mm. So this guy comes off. Let's put it right here somewhere safe. Let's move on to the next one. And let's move on to this guy. So once we have these three out, you should be able to take off this little retainer on the radiator and make sure we put this back in. What this does is we're gonna have to fish this guy out of here. Okay, this thing is over. We'll figure that one out later. Okay, we don't want things overheating on block. So if you have a radiator looking like that, make sure you clean it. And in summertime, it might overheat. So we got a 10 here, and then we got a 10 like I showed you back over here from right down here. And we're just gonna have to wait for the radiator to drain out. We might be able to fish this one out for now. Okay, as you can see, my radiator cap is on. So if you're draining your antifreeze and your antifreeze just stopped from coming out, it might be simply that you need to ventilate the system. So make sure you take that off if you guys have an issue like that. So we're gonna take off this 10mm here. Should loosen up the fan. Okay, don't get your tool stuck like me. Make sure you have enough clearance. And then if you can turn by hand, that's even better. Use a long extension, get it from right back there. I should have had done that, but this one's almost out. So all the bolts from here, I'm gonna put on top of this battery so we don't misplace them anywhere. So the fan should be a little bit loose. We need to take off that clamp, and I'm not gonna take off this side clamp. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take off one side and then just put the radiator hose up here. I'm gonna take off this cover also. Let's take it off right now. So all you're gonna do is yank on this guy and it's gonna pop open. It's gonna give you much more clearance in there for our radiator to come up. Anyways, I'm gonna probably close up the drainer soon. All I need is for this thing to go below the radiator neck here where the pipe is, and that's why I said I'll take out probably a gallon or so. Okay, so I did take off the 10mm from right here. All I did was take this extension and the socket and I just turned it right there just like that, and there's my two 10mm there. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna, you see this guy, you're gonna pop this guy, you're gonna push this back and lift up the fan, and it's gonna be same thing on the opposite side. But prior to that, let me take off, which you're not gonna see, just take a needle nose plier, squeeze this side, and it's all down here, so it's gonna be hard for you guys to see, but it's down here. So I'm gonna squeeze that and get that clamp off. We're gonna pick up the radiator hose and we're gonna stick it back here. Okay, so I took off the clamp from this side. That side is not so easy to get to. I'm still trying to figure this out. I'm gonna take off that bolt from this bracket that goes to this AC thing here, AC lines. So I'm gonna take off that 10 and I'm gonna try to fish this guy out because I need to put my needle nose from the bottom. Okay, so we got the pipe out of the way, sitting right there. So I was able to grab it right from here and take off the pipe and lift the clamp right on it. Over here on this side, same thing. You're gonna push this guy and your fan should become loose. Okay, it falls right back. Just let it go slowly. So all we need to do is we need to make a little bit of clearance. So take out this fan. You're gonna be going bananas. So let's give ourselves a space. Make sure you don't damage any wiring. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to push this a bit this way. And it's not the best design, but we're gonna have more than enough space right here. This thing went back in, but we don't want any trouble when things are coming loose and out of the way. And looking good. So I'm gonna try to push this fan a bit more this way. Something's bothering me now. Okay, it's the fan housing itself that's not gonna let you go any further. You have to go up above it and behind it. Anyways, I'm gonna get that done and we'll continue. Okay, from here on, it's gonna be hard for the camera to see. Let's pop open this dipstick. So this is out of the way. So you're gonna take off this cover here. You're gonna remove that bolt. Don't worry, your battery is disconnected. You're not gonna have anything short-circuited. There's a connector down below. You're gonna get that connector off the alternator. Okay, let me see if I can see a clear visual of that. So it's pretty much squeeze and pull. This guy comes off. We're gonna take off this guy. We're gonna take off the 210s here. We're gonna remove this. All this stuff is gonna be with my fork here. So just take this guy. We're gonna pop these guys open because we need more clearance. Okay, try not to damage any harness and plastic retainer. Even if you take off these 10s, they're gonna be out of the way, but I still want to, I don't want to see these guys at all. Okay, so I'm gonna get these off. This one broke off, is fine. And then I am gonna disconnect this oxygen sensor, and there's a wire going down to the AC compressor. It's a 1-pin connector. Take that off as well, and then take off the 14mm right here on the alternator. Okay, one more thing I want to do is to give myself more clearance. I want to, okay, be careful with this neck of this pipe here. So just turn it a bit and pull it off. I'm going to take off the 210s there and then 210s on this side. What that's going to do is it's going to let me push this back, and I'm going to have more clearance. I'm going to have more space than enough. And also I might see if there's a bolt here for the dipstick, and I'll take that off. Just a tiny bit should give me more than enough clearance because all this shit ain't coming off. Anyways, let me take off those, and that should let me push the radiator a bit. Okay, what I want you to do is from down here, I want you to yank the alternator. Just put your pry bar right when it's sitting back here. Just small little force. It's not gonna damage anything, and that's gonna push that out of the way. And what you want to do next is now you want to go up on the top. You want to do this from the bottom first before you do the top. Did put this cardboard here between the radiator, and look at this, my alternator is right there and it's ready to come out. I just don't want to let it go, and mistake I made. You see my mistake right now, guys. That stupid cap right there got me. So I'm gonna just put the camera here. Bear with me. Take off the cap. All I did was take off the cap. And let's grab this camera. And check this out. This baby is okay. I forgot to tell you guys. I don't know if I did. Oh, we don't want that happening. Okay, that's gonna destroy your radiator. So thank God to that cardboard, even though it's not gonna protect it 100%. So guys, I'm gonna get this guy out, and I need both hands. That's what I need right now. Over there, and I took off this thing completely. Oh my God, every little inch counts on this guy, and this baby is out. I'm gonna leave it right here. Screw you. That we're gonna put into this vehicle, the part number right there. So this is almost like a $230 for this alternator, and you don't want it. This thing comes with a lifetime warranty, and oh God, come on. And it does have a cord. So one thing I do want to make sure is, make sure you push these back, put the old bolt in here and tap it with the hammer. Make sure you file so your ground is good, because this paint is going to disturb the flow of the ground. I don't even know why my flashlight is off. So put a bolt through here and push this back, hammer it, put like 4 or 5 threads in there, bam bam. This thing should go back. If you don't do that, you're gonna have a very difficult time trying to get this guy in there. Anyways, let's take off this guy right now. I like to use the old one, and no noise. I'm happy with that. Okay, boys and girls, so sum things up. You're gonna take your alternator straight down, okay, just the way we took off. First, you're gonna have it straight, holding it from the neck, from the pulley, get it in there, and then turn it, and it goes straight in, okay? And make sure you get your cardboard out of there, because you will overheat if you leave that guy in. And I use this guy just to keep the fan strut forward. And now, reverse procedure, make sure you put this thing is very critical. Put it now before you drop anything in there. So put it in your cap first, okay? And I did push the engine a little bit, just like that, and that helped me get me a little bit of clearance. So to sum it up, put everything back together. Make sure you put your antifreeze in. Make sure you put the 2 bolts here. Make sure everything is back. Reverse procedure begins, and we're gonna do the voltage output once we're done, and we'll see if the battery light goes away. Okay, so I'm finishing up the vehicle. Got my radiator pipe in. Make sure everything's back together. Sensor, oxygen sensor, the bolt for that, and make sure this guy's in. And make sure you fill up the antifreeze. Make sure your radiator fan connectors in. The 2 bolts are there. All I need to put the cover on. I need to go down there, put the drain plug is already closed. Let's put this dipstick in right now. And we still need to tighten the alternator, and we need to put the bolt in the bottom, which you guys are not going to see, but reverse procedure, I already got the top bolt in, just the bottom one. So the alternator, as you can see, it moves around a bit. And the last thing I will do is put on the belt. Anyways, thank you for watching, guys, and we're gonna do a voltage output test as soon as I'm done. So we're not finished yet. Okay, we got the engine running, everything is done, and guess what? The light is gone. You still got the tire light, that's okay. Engine is noisy, that's fine. I got nothing to do with that. Okay, let's check the voltage. I swear to God, I need 3 hands. There you go. We got 14. Perfect. It should be above 13 volts, okay? And if you're below 13, it's an issue. Okay, it shouldn't be 15 either, okay? So 13, 40, 13, 50, 14 is fine. So we're gonna let this guy charge the battery and put everything back together. Bada bing, bada boom. Simple job. So the torque specs on this vehicle: alternator 24 foot-pounds, and that's all. Everything else I would just tighten it by hand. And 24 foot-pound is the 2 bolts that are on the alternator, the 14 millimeters. Anyways, thank you for watching.